Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I am Lisa Fulford, your creative coach, and I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the US, and I want to welcome you to my studio here in Indiana. I am on my 19th year, coming up in just under a month, and so I am so excited that you're here with me. And so today is my Technique Tuesday, and I hope that you will enjoy this technique as much as I enjoyed bringing it to you. But I don't know if you've seen it or not. I know if you've been into card making for a while, you've seen it. But if you're new to crafting and card making, you maybe haven't seen this, and it is called the black ice technique. And so let's turn the camera around and let's get started with this technique. All right, so the card that we're going to make today is this card or this technique, and it's hard to get a picture of it without the glare. See if I can maybe change this. Turn that off. There, maybe it's a little bit better. It is, there we go. It looks like metal that is kind of, I don't know what to call it, but it is the black swiping on there, and it's done with a swiping technique, but it looks like it's aged. That's the word I'm trying to use, or patine. I don't know how to pronounce the word, but it's called a black ice technique. And so it's really fun to do. It's really cool to do, but I'm going to tell you what, it is hard to get because of the lights. Let's see if I can turn, well, I can't turn that light off. So let's get over here and see. There we go. Maybe that's better. But it's a really cool technique. It is hard, like I said, to get it on camera. And so anyway, let's get started with this, because I can fidget with this the whole time and just still not be able to get that, let you see the full effect of it, because it is pretty cool. But there you go. You can see it now. It's not quite as glared, but it's got the weatheredness to it, and then it's got your imagery there, and this is on the foiled paper. So let's grab all the pieces that we need. I feel like you're not going to really be able to see the card itself, although I have shown it to you. There you can see it. I put something behind it. There, that helps. All right, so I just have a piece of foil. It's our specialty paper, and this is the silver foil, and this is 3 3/4 by 5 inches. And then here's a piece of Secrecy, and it is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then we have a piece of thick basic cardstock that is 4 1/4 by 8.5 by 5 1/2 scored at 4 1/4. All right, so I'm going to set that over there. And then this is one of the little banners that's out of the set called Birthday Celebrations, and it's one of the die cuts that's in there. And I just took a scrap piece about the height of, the sentiment there, and I did the banner as the die cut, but I just did the bottom half of that banner for that. And then we have this, and that is how we are going to create the image. The stamp sets that we're using the die for this, but no stamps. And we're using Peaceful Pier, and we're going to do the pier and the trees. And then we're going to do the With Sympathy, and then on the inside we're going to do Heartfelt Prayers. This doesn't really take very long at all, and once we get the main part finished, it goes together pretty quick. So let me get my little piece of paper here where I've been doing the technique for the sample that I have here. I'm going to take and lay this out. I'll move this out of the way because I don't really want ink on it, and it's a possibility I might get it on there. All right, and I have this piece of paper to try to keep my hands from getting so dirty. You may want a pair of gloves for this because StazOn is it's a type of ink that you can stamp on slick surfaces, you can stamp on glass, and it usually does not come off. I do have my StazOn all-purpose cleaner nearby because as soon as I use the stamp, I'm going to have to put that on there so that it does not stick to the stamp. And the longer that it stays on there, it tends to harden up. At least that's my experience. So I'm going to open up my StazOn ink, and I did re-ink this. I'm going to put this down, and I don't want to stick my fingernails into it or anything because it will dent and crease. But I am going to put this down and try to hold it the best that I can with just my fingertips. And I'm going to start close to my fingers so that I can swipe and I don't have to do as much when I turn it around. So I'm going to put it not at a tall 45, but at an angle. I'm going to start off the page and swipe towards me. Now see, that didn't really put much on there, but you just keep adding to it. Like that. I'm going to turn this around. We're going to go from this direction. Whoops, I keep spinning. I keep trying to hold it. It also kind of gets sticky. Oh, see, I just put my fingernail in it and I did dent it. We'll try to cover that up. All right, so that is enough of the swiping on there, and it's a little heavier than this one. And so I've used this several times, and so it's not as juicy as it was to leave the little extra smaller marks. So I had to press a little harder to get it to do what I needed it to do. All right, so we're going to turn it this way. I don't want as much in this corner because of my trees. I want it to be a little bit lighter. And there is a plastic tray in here. It's a cover for the ink, and you want to keep that. I put a little a little dimensional there. I put a little dimensional, whoops, there we go, a little dimensional there so that it would hold my cover in there and I would not lose it. And it says on there, do not discard. There's a reason, because otherwise your ink will dry out. All right, so I'm going to ink up my trees. I want it to be really nicely covered. Now I'm going to warn you, it gets very tacky. Once we stick it to the foil, it sticks to the paper. Just like that. It gets really tacky. So there's our trees. All right. Now I'm going to take and add my cleaner to this right away so that it can be soaking in. And I'm not rubbing, I'm just tapping it on there. There is a little ball thing on the end that you press it and it makes the cleaner come out. I want it to sit on there just a bit so that it will dissolve it. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put a little more re-inker on here. I don't have to really swipe it around. It's a felt type pad, so it's not like a sponge one. Okay, that looks nice and well inked. We're going to come down here. And let's see. Press down. And you don't want it to move. Go down. And come up. There's our images on there. There's the pier and the trees. So this needs to dry for a little bit. So I'm going to set it off camera here for a moment. And then once again, I need to put the cleaner on this stamp. I think it also nourishes the stamp, especially when you're using the solvent ink. I'll bring in a paper towel, and this one's been sitting for a little bit, and I'm just going to stamp it into the paper towel and kind of try to get it down into the little grooves. And if I need to come back with some more, these are just a few tips when you're doing this technique. You need it to be the stays on ink, but you also need to clean it. There, as long as there's still some on there, we need to keep adding cleaner. And then we'll do something else here in just a moment. But that gives that a chance to dry. All right. Now I want to try to get in all the little openings and dry up that cleaner. And it's kind of an oily type residue. We're going to take care of that too. All right, so this I'm going to throw away because it does have that cleaner on there and is like an oily residue. Then I'm going to take a baby wipe. I want to get down in all those little grooves. Now, I do not suggest putting these through an embossing folder once you put the stays on ink on there, because it will cause the ink to transfer to your embossing folders, and then you have to try to clean those with the stays on cleaner as well. So nothing is coming off, so I think they're pretty well cleaned. I don't think I need the post-it note anymore to hold that. We're going to make certain our hands are clean. So it will transfer on. There. We'll bring in back in these pieces. And we're going to do some stamping. I have the with sympathy. I'll bring in my Secret C, being so I'm using that layer. I love this as my sentiment stamps. Ink for my sentiments. And I was just like tap, tap, tapping. Then I'm going to come over here, stamp, and lift up. And it's a perfect stamp every time. Well, I don't want to say every time and jinx myself. And then, let's see, so that needs to dry just a bit. We're going to come in. This is going to be my inside. So I'm going to use that heartfelt prayer stamp. Yep, nope. There we go. Finish both of those. Now we're going to use this again. And I want to just ink up part of the pier. We'll come down here. Stamp it there. I didn't do this with my sample, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to ink up this one side of the trees. I'm going to come over here off the edge. Just stamp. And that looks pretty good to add a little bit more detail. So that's the inside. Get that out of the way. We'll move this other and then we'll put our card together. So the main point of this video is the technique. And now I think it's not 100% dry, I guarantee it, but it's fairly dry. So I'm going to add some glue to the back of it. I'm not going to lay it down on anything, just because I don't want to get ink all over that. And I will say, glue does show through this. Meaning you can see the raised up, it somehow soaks into it and shows the raised up portion of where the glue is. I can feel the tackiness, but it doesn't look like it's transferring the ink onto me. That's good. So now I'm going to flip this over. We're going to put dimensionals on the back of it, and then we'll put also dimensionals on the back of the sentiment for the front. What I like about these so I can tear them, add them to my card where I need them. Don't let the outside edges go to waste. Take the backings off of everything. There we go. I need my bone folder. I'm going to fold this. I was giving that time to dry. We're going to fold this in half and take and burnish our score line. Add this to the front. Make certain this is the opening and it's going in the right direction. we did was like let it sit down. I didn't even press it. There we go. Now we got it. All right, so take our sentiment. I'm gonna grab, we have some of these pieces here. Now, because this is a, there we go, it's sticking to my fingernails. It is a sticky kind of solvent ink. I want to make certain there's enough to adhere, so maybe it will hit some of the places where it's not so thick. Right. Now we need to take the backings off of this as well. Sometimes that's easier said than done. Oops. Flip that over. I'm just going to put it right up here. And there we go. Well, there is our card. And that is called Black Ice. Let me see if I can. There, maybe that'll help. There we go. It helps with being able to see it a little bit better without that light. Look how pretty that is. It turns out so nice. There we go. Both of them together. There we go. Aren't they pretty? I just love them. I want to thank you so much for joining me. And if you enjoyed this video and this technique, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel and hit that little bell icon so that you'll be notified of my next video. And I do so appreciate whenever you join me. And thank you to all my new friends that have been commenting and following me. I've had a few, actually several new followers in the last week, and I am meeting friends from Australia and from Germany and from France. I have several of you guys reaching out. I greatly appreciate that. I have some people in Canada, and I've got some new people here in the US, and I greatly appreciate each and every one of you who are watching my videos and following me and, you know, interacting with me and engaging with my videos. I love hearing from you. I love to hear what you have to say, and they've been such kind words. I greatly appreciate that. And if you, any of you are here in the US and you would like to purchase any of the supplies to make these cards, then by all means, if you don't already have a demonstrator, you are, welcome to order from me. I would actually love that. But I love to just bring you all the different cards and the techniques, and I like to share what I love to do. Like I said, I'm coming up on my 19th year, so I'm really looking forward to that. And, but, excuse me, if you don't want to miss another thing that I have to offer, I have classes that I do, and I've been trying to do a lot of videos here lately. I think each, for the month of, let's see, for the month of August, about every other week, I've been doing 5 videos a week, and the other ones I think I'm doing at least 4. So I hope you'll check them all out. I've been having a lot of fun bringing you different groupings of types videos for, like, this Technique Tuesday, for instance. And then I've got the countdown to Halloween going on with all the treat bags and treat boxes and things like that. I may throw a card in there, but I really like doing the treat boxes and things. And then my new series of my fun folds. So you might want to check those out on Fridays as well. But I have really been appreciating all of the love I've been receiving from all of you. And until next time, happy stamping.